what people want to get out of the thing can change as they go along as well, and 40k 9 is 8 is set up to do that.
How many have we made?
Loads.
I think there's
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So that little clip you've just witnessed there was taken from Warhammer TV. It was aired on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it was reported to be aired on Friday. So if you want to go back and watch that, but you have to be a sub to the channel to go back and watch it. Now the chap who was speaking in the middle was a chap called Robin Crudence, or Crudace. Hopefully I'm pronouncing one of his names right. And he is the lead 40k developer. Now, for those of you who didn't catch what he said, he basically got his words crossed and he said 9th instead of 8th. Now, a lot of people are talking about this. Are they saying that did he meant to say 9th instead of saying 8th? Or did he say, 9th because 9th is in production and, he shouldn't have said that, but he said it because 9th is on his mind, let's say. I know that's very, very confusing. For me, I'm going to say I think 9th edition is coming, and I think 9th edition is going to be announced at Warhammer Fest this year. If you remember last Warhammer Fest, they announced AOS 2nd, was it 2nd edition? I don't know what it's called. Is it AOS number 2? I don't know how what they call their books. But the thing, what happens now with editions is that they normally run for around 2 years. They have a 2-year cycle. The HonestWargamer, there's a chap called Rob who runs that. He actually used to work for Games Workshop. He set up his own little podcast and stuff now. He has a load of really good, interesting topics to cover, AOS and 40k. Go and check him out. I'll actually put a link in the description of this video. But he was mentioning on his podcast that when he worked at GW, he was told that there's always a 2-year cycle when they come to do new editions. And this summer now is basically going to be the 2-year cycle for the edition that we've got now, 8th edition, so it would make sense for them to release a 9th edition during this summer period. Can I also say as well, during that clip, again, I may be looking into this a bit too much, but the way Wade reacts is absolutely bang on, like, oh boy, that was a boo-boo, that was never meant to be said, and, they just try to play it off like, how many editions have we done now? Like, oh, crap, we maybe should have said that. I just got it from my reaction that that is definitely something that came out by mistake, and they tried to just kind of backstep and cover it all up and make sure it didn't seem too on top. But guess what? This is the internet. Once you say something, we're going to grab it and we're going to run the opposite direction, so you can't catch us. Now, of course, with 8th edition going on to 9th edition, let's just say, theoretically, this does happen. We do get a 9th edition announced. What possibly could change from 8th to 9th edition? I personally don't think there's going to be huge, massive changes. There may be some of the, like some of the stuff that we've already been seeing, like the Balta rules and stuff like that. There was one interesting topic I was actually speaking to someone about a couple of weeks ago, is that with all these endless spells that we're seeing in AOS, and the endless spells do look fantastic. I love like all the models you can make for endless spells. I'm wondering if we can get something similar in 40k, like, when your librarian does like a certain kind of spell, psychic kind of spell or something like that. Maybe they can have a kind of a model to go with that. So maybe they can try and do like a sort of endless spell type of thing and put it in 9th edition so we can have access to those cool looking spell models as well. I don't know, it just seems cool to me. I'm no tournament player. I completely hold my hands up. I'm not in it for like the pure win, and I'm not competitive when it comes to this. When I go and throw dice, I throw dice for fun, socialize and stuff like that. But what I've noticed when I actually play 8th edition now is that whoever goes first more or less wins the game, because there's so much damage you can like output out now with your armies and stuff. It's like, even if I hide my armies behind something, the guy can, I'm Iron Warriors, I ignore cover, or I have this Death Guard tank that doesn't have to have line of sight, and that can blow you up from a distance. So it's kind of one of them situations where it's like you really have to go first to really do the damage to secure the stuff you need to win the game. So I'm hoping if they do another edition, they can try and balance that out a bit, where basically you survive the first turn. I would actually like something, and I don't know how well this would go down, But I was thinking about doing it where units go back and forth instead of a full turn. I know a lot of people dislike that. I've actually seen it used. I've actually played it myself when I had my massive knight game. So instead of like a full army of knights firing at a full army of knights, you just rotating like, okay, this knight fires your knight. Okay, now your knight can fire back to whatever one of my units. You know, so it's back and forth like that. So it makes it more even. I wonder if they would ever go down that road and try that out. I personally think it's interesting. I don't know how it would work on like the bigger scale, but from what I've done with it and how I've used it, I think it's been pretty successful. And also soup. I know a lot of people dislike soup. Personally, again, I've never really gone to tournaments, so I've never experienced it heavy-handed like a lot of people have. But I'm wondering if they may go down another direction and get rid of that. Maybe they'll do something else with like allies and that kind of stuff. Who knows? All I know is that this comment for me is a genuine mistake. I personally think. I think he actually meant to say 8th, but he said 9th instead, and because he's basically working on 9th, like I said, the cycle of 2 years, that means this summer could we see that next edition released, and hopefully this weekend will be the announcement, just like the last Warhammer Fest was the announcement of AOS. This year will be the announcement of Warhammer 40,000 9th edition. We shall see. We shall see. We've only got a couple more days till that event, and I'm going to have my fingers crossed. I'm going to be looking at the interwebs, F5ing my keyboard until it breaks so I can see all the news, and obviously I'll make videos and all that kind of stuff once it all comes out. Alright, Chaperonios, that is me done for another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think below. Do you think 9th edition is coming? Do you think it was an actual mistake? He just said 9th instead of 8th, even though, you know, 9th is not coming. It was just a genuine mistake. And if 9th is coming, let's just say 9th is coming, what would you like to see in 9th? What would you like changed in 9th to better the game, to make it more better, to make it flow better, to make it more fun, let's say. I also hope you like the pictures in the background. I didn't really know what to put in the background of this video, so I just put pictures of my last game at Warhammer World, so hopefully you enjoyed those images. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all very, very soon. See you now, and bye-bye.